The Painful Excellence Podcast.
Absolutely. Drew Titan Bronson on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. That's the Painful Excellence Podcast. Come on in, smash the like button. We're going to get straight to the smoke. The nasty, bigot, self-hating, racist smoke. Salute to my people following me on Rumble. It's a lot to talk about. Too much to do in one night. Got a lot of topics, and what I'm going to talk about tonight, this needs to be a wake-up call to us. What you see here is a grifter on the right, a entitled, rich grapist on the left. And either way you look at it, I bet you they had extreme love for Charlie Kirk. I bet you they did. But did Charlie Kirk mean to enable people like this? No, I'm not going to put that on him. Or am I? What do y'all think? I'm just curious. What do y'all think? Do you think that Charlie Kirk meant this? I'm just asking. Let that marinate for a second. Let it marinate for a second. And just hear me out and listen to what I'm saying. Hear me out and listen to what I'm saying. When this man was assassinated, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he had a lot of things going on. And I even watched a bit of the world go crazy. I watched a bit of the world go crazy. I sure did. And crazy to the point where I don't know where HBCUs played into any of this. I have no idea. I even saw these wannabe clowns, the white folks going to HBCUs and setting up shop with chairs and tables, trying to debate everybody. I mean, who was you rallying behind? Oh, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, but we're going to keep the spirit alive. What spirit? And those brothers and sisters said, man, get out of here. We ain't talking to you. Get out, get out, get out. And they were escorted off. No violence. No violence. They were escorted off. That was a bait, because what you got to understand is these folks are stunt men and women. They're stunt men and women. They are stunt men and women. What do I mean by that? They will risk life and limb if they walk away from a physical altercation, paralyzed, disfigured, handicapped, or anything. If it means that it'll prove their point, they will do it. They will do it. You see, Charlie Kirk had a lot to say about the black community. It was only half-truths, which is why, like I said, he only went to colleges to debate college students. And what you know about a college student is that they're young, They're hyper. They're ready to take on the world. Some of them have knowledge of self, but they're not quite. Not all of them. Some are, but they're not quite disciplined in the art of debate. You can win a debate and be completely wrong. What Charlie Kirk always did was he put out half-truths in reference to the facts, data, and statistics as it pertains to black people, and he was wrong. But he's not stupid. He would do that on purpose. And there was only one sister that was able to challenge him and stump him up. But I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is these white folks done lost their mind. Those white boys going to the HBCUs and trying to set up camp just to in basically incite a riot. That's what they were hoping for. It was just as silly as, you remember when Obama first took office and everyone says, oh, he's attacking our Second Amendment rights, and all of a sudden people started walking around with their open carry and flashing it. I mean, it was always there, but why y'all making it super known? Remember you had all those white boys walking through neighborhoods with AR-15s and recording it? We was like, what is this? They weren't doing that before. Why are you showing up to a Republican rally with your gun out? The law was always there, but why are you being so extra now? What's going on? What's going on? What happened was a black man took the highest political position in the United States of America. That's what happened. And for 8 years, these bigots lost their mind. For 8 years. Obama wasn't perfect. And hear me out if you're hearing this for the first time. No, I'm not a Democrat, not a Republican. I'm an independent thinker. Was that man perfect? No. What I did notice is that every time he tried to do something, they fought him along the way. That's how stupid y'all are. I don't want no Obamacare. I just need my gun and my Bible. No Obamacare. Get Obamacare out of there. How do you feel about the Affordable Health Care Act? Well, I need that. Go! Right. And it's at that point I turned the news off. All you got to do is let them talk. Now, the reason why I got Charlie Kirk back there is because I knew what he was doing. But it seems like, when I say things like let them talk, and sometimes you don't have to lift the finger, just leave it in God's hands and he'll show you some stuff. These two animals on his right and left, this is what God is showing y'all. So I'm going to introduce you first to the malicious animal on the left. This animal goes by the name of Jesse Butler. Y'all know who Jesse Butler is? Well, I'm going to give you the short version. All right, Matt. Well, I'm not talking about boxing tonight. I'm talking about this. But salute to you, brother. Jesse Butler is the latest in caveman activity. It's the latest in caveman activity. And I'm just going to give you the short version. He raped 3 women. And he was arrested. It's all on YouTube. It was the most polite arrest I've ever seen for someone to commit such a heinous crime. It's right up there with Dillian Roof. The white boy that went into a black church white boy went into a black church, was accepted with open arms. And, you know, how does he repay the act of kindness? He comes back and shoots a bunch of defenseless elderly black people. All right, Willie Lowe in the building, salute. And salute to everyone in the chat. And that's what he did. And when they went and picked him up and arrested him, with that devilish demon look on his face, they escorted him out with a bulletproof vest. Well, they want to make sure he made his court hearing, right? Or were they protecting their own? I don't know. It could be either one. I mean, hey, but the black families of the slain were in court, and they said, oh, you know, Jesus said, forgive you. I forgive you. Right. Unarmed. They weren't a militant group. These were good Christian black people who were mowed down by a racist scumbag. Curious, A. Hardy, salute. Curious. Has Charlie Kirk ever asked about that? He loved talking about black on black crime. But he didn't talk about things like that. He don't talk about white on white crime. You know, he probably did, but he goofed around with the numbers and everything. He was able to shine a spotlight on y'all, and y'all let him? Y'all sure did. If he was alive right now, what would he think of these two right here? Because no, Charlie Kirk wasn't a racist. Oh, no. He wasn't a racist, right? What would he say about these two animals right here? Well, let's talk about Jesse Butler. Okay, so he raped two girls. I understand that one of the girls he raped was actually, they had like a movie room in his house. And one of the girls, from what I heard, was screaming for help. And the mother just turned up the volume in her bedroom. Oh, that's just my son getting it in with a girl. And you got to see the arrest. It's like the most polite arrest you can ever see. Go to the house, knock on the door, and, oh my God, my son, yeah, we're here to pick up your son because he raped somebody, and we got to take him in, and put your hands behind your back and walk with us, please. They did that to him. Did he? They came to his crib with a mother effing tank. What'd they find? Baby oil? Bodies in the basement? No. They couldn't substantiate anything. All they had was a Cassie tape. I ain't know setting up orgies was illegal. I ain't know that. Whatever, man. Trafficking. They had to hit him with something after going through all of that work, right? Right. But I think one or two officers went to go get this kid. Did he? They sent the whole tank. That was crazy. That's right, Grand Regent Thread. Complexion for the protection. But what I want to talk about is how he's being treated. So what you're going to hear, fair use, is from the Law and Crime Network. Go subscribe to them. And this kid went to court. And this is called Sidebar with the good brother Jesse Weber. This kid was in court with sunshine, with shades on. He looked like an 80s wrestler. He's a big boy. He plays I don't know, what does he play? Baseball or something? Right. So let's get to it. This is what was said. And this is what made my antennas go up. Just listen.
Spotlight on this. How did you first hear about this case?
So actually a friend of mine, another mutual social media creator, he goes by Missing in USA. Literally his content is all, for the most part, missing people and stories, and they work behind the scenes and actually research this stuff. He lives in Stillwater, and he sent me this story, and that night I was actually getting ready to go live on YouTube to talk about three different cases, and I was like, after I read that story, I was so enraged that I was like, I'm going to scrap what I'm talking about right now because these cases have been,
This story is not even nationwide. This is one of those stories you had to like dig for and look for. And you're going to see why. You're going to hear why.
Hold for years. And we're going to talk about this. And I was infuriated. I called a friend of mine who's an attorney. I was like, hey, can you hop on right now? Because I want to talk to you about some stuff, ask some questions. So she did as well. And then from there, apparently I opened the floodgates in Stillwater, Oklahoma. From there, I got it sent over to the people over on News Nation. It's like, hey, you guys might want to talk about this. But basically, Dan had initially sent me that story and was like, something needs to be done about this. But when you see somebody getting charged with the charges that he had, and we can get into those a little bit more here in a moment, but originally being sentenced to 78 years and then walking away with 150 hours of community service, that is...
You heard that right? You heard that right? You heard that right? Did you hear that? He was looking at 78 years, walked away with community service. Now, I know you're wondering, how in the entire ass does that even work? How? Let's keep listening.
It's just a miscarriage of justice. There's just no other way to look at it.
I haven't seen anything like this,
Me either.
anything near this. And from your research,
Now, I'm going to show you this judge. You need to see this judge. Look at this bitch. Look. That's the judge that did that. Okay? That bitch looked like a linebacker. That looked like a linebacker picture. You remember the old 1980s cats looking like they about to go into the NFL draft? All of them were clean shaven with thick mustaches, looking like those were college students. Some dudes look like full-grown men. As a matter of fact, if you're an 8th grade gym teacher, if the bitch ain't look like this, you wasn't at gym. But this is the woman that did that. This is the woman, he said, Kingpin with the wig. Yes. She did this. But keep listening. Keep listening. I want you to hear how this went down.
speaking with experts, from speaking with attorneys, what's the rationale here? What have you learned here about how this is even possible? Because I will tell you, there is a lot of speculation online right now that the Butler family may have connections that may have helped him get this so-called sweetheart deal. We couldn't confirm that. What can you tell us?
Now, I need you to listen. I need you to listen.
So I've spoken with some of the families as well of both victims who came forward against Jesse. There is a third victim who, she hasn't come forward, but can you blame her when you look at this as the justice that they get? So there's a third victim. And kind of like you said, the speculation is that
that's a big boy.
Jesse Mac Butler's father is a man by the name of Mac Butler. And he was the head of football operations at OSU for, I forget how many years, but for a pretty long time. He's, kind of a staple in that community. And when we're talking about Stillwater, Oklahoma, we're talking about OSU, for people who don't know, Stillwater is the town that Oklahoma State University is in. So there's a lot of things tied to that. Mac Butler,
Look at that pic. Right? Like he about to go wrestle rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Seems that he grew up there. His wife currently works for OSU. His daughter works for the public school system there. He was apparently had been hired as like a coach of some kind for Stillwater High School as well. So somebody with deep-rooted ties into the community, and that then leads you to the judge in this case, or one of the judges in this case, Judge Susan Worthington. Between her and her father, the Worthingtons have had a hold on that bench for over 50 years. So while...
Whoa! Did you hear that? Did you hear that? We'll run it back for you. Listen carefully.
Judges in this case, Judge Susan Worthington, between her and her father, the Worthingtons have had a hold on that bench for over 50 years.
Where on earth have you ever heard some shit like that before? Salute the phenomenal Mexican in that super chat. Much love. He says, Drew, you see Devon say good old Jim Ross is racist? Yeah, I saw that. And I heard some shit. I used to talk to SD Jones a lot. We used to go to the same gym. I said, damn, that's over 20 years ago now. Rest in peace to him. His son went to school with my older brother right here in the Bronx. Rod Neal in that super chat, he says, a judge look like Paul Bearer. Oh, yes. This bitch family had a hold of that bench for over 50 years. You want to talk about how this kid, how the fuck are you looking at 78 years and get reduced to community service? How does that happen? Would Charlie Kirk be disappointed in this, or would he be proud? I'm just asking. That's right, Royal Constrictor. Crickets from the women's movement. It was 3 women. It wasn't 1, it wasn't 2. It was 3. Now, who would I be not to talk about that after I done dragged Tank for his inability to keep his fucking hands to himself when it comes to women? How? Now, you see this right here? This is corruption. I'll play it for you again, because when I heard this, I said, wait, that can happen? Watch this.
Between her and her father, the Worthingtons have had a hold on that bench for over 50 years. So while you can't necessarily say definitively that, hey, there's this connection here because he's deep rooted in football, you know, she's a judge, they all grew up in the same town, that there's this kind of connection, but it's not really many difficult mental gymnastics to make that leap, right? That, hey, this is a town that requires the college, needs the college to survive. It's very deep rooted into the system, that they're very much supportive of OSU for this whole kind of thing to be very close knit. And that's kind of what's being speculated, to the point that even it's now gotten the attention of one of Oklahoma's lawmakers, Representative J.J. Humphrey, who's also running for lieutenant governor. I'm actually going to be speaking with him later tonight, a little bit more details, but
yeah, and if you can, I don't know if you've spoken with him already, but Representative Humphrey is talking, my understanding is about a potential investigation into this. Is this true? Is there going to be a formal investigation into what happened here?
It sounds that way, yeah. He kind of looks at it from the same way. He was telling me that he's got a lot of background, in the court system and investigation before he got into politics. And he said, basically kind of the same thing that we were just talking about, that can he say definitively, or can he prove right now that there's a connection? No, but his exact words, but it sure as hell smacks like it.
Of course. Auntie Jenny, salute. I appreciate you. Thank you, Queen. Of course there's a connection. What are you, stupid? Of course there's a connection. How the hell they hold that position, that lineage, that family holds a position on that bench for 50 years? He was looking at 78 of them things. And he got community service and counseling. Now, when we say a lot of the stuff that happens to black and brown people, be an in-house job, things that Charlie Kirk never spoke on, the amount of black people that are falsely arrested, released, and exonerated, which means there's a high percentage of us that should have been in prison in the first goddamn place. He never brought that up, right? But here this white trash is right here, who was he was guilty. Now, if those 3 girls if that was your daughters, your nieces, your sisters, and that shit happened, and he gets that slap on the wrist, what do you do? Charles Bronson, Frank Castle, what do you do? What do you do? Doesn't this make you wonder what the hell's going on with the legal system, and what else have they done? Let me ask you another question. How many Republicans, because every time I get online, I see a new one. How many Republicans have you seen getting caught up in these pedo situations, these sex crimes and stuff? There's like 50 of them. Oh, salute. Yeah, the panel was crazy today. It's all good. It's all good, brother. I appreciate you. You see that? Makes you wonder, right? One of those judges, I don't know his political affiliation. I'm gonna assume he's pro-Trump and Republican. I'm assuming he's like that. The judge that was caught N-bombing in the courtroom, he was caught N-bombing, and he referred to a white person that did a heinous crime. He referred to him as the victim, right? Well, that judge was caught. I think he was caught with kitty corn. Yes, sir. He was removed from the bench. I forgot that clown's name, but y'all can look it up. So these are the things that we deal with in the legal system. So when they tell you there's no systematic racism, bullshit. I was arguing with a lab rat on about this very topic with this animal, this hairless ape right here, this pink demon right here, on Instagram, and I had to literally break that fool down. I said, "What in the name of Charlie Kirk? You name me." I said, "Well, this is typical," and then she responded on some bullshit, and I said, "Well." She tried to say, "Oh, black people do something similar or whatever," and she starts talking about trap houses and shit. Another crack whore, a white person that hangs around black people, listens to our music that I denounced, and when they hang around black people, they don't hang around the good black people. Why do these white people find the worst of the worst black people to hang around? I don't know. And they listen to our lingo, they learn what a trap is, and they learn all this other shit, and they think that that's us. Why do you think I denounce things like Tank Davis? Because he's the poor representation. He represents the worst of us. Now, there's white people that seen what this kid did, and they said, no, that's not us. That's not how I've been raised. I'm a Christian, whatever. It's not what this is. But you know what? Where's the white woman protesting this kid and demanding justice? You see that? You see that? Where's the sister? Where's the black woman to say, no. You lock this boy up. He's a menace. Where they at? Where y'all at? It's the same ideology when I tell the Tank Davis fans, listen, man. Now, old white media is saying the same thing that we've been saying. Thing is, when we were saying it, we was hoping Tank made some changes. Now it's 6 years later, now they're saying it, and he done effed off this Jake Paul fight, and we don't know what he's going to do next. I really don't care, but that's for y'all to deal with. But every time I put his name in the meme or in my title, don't come up here argue with me. Go argue with Paulie Malignaggi. Go argue with Mike Coppinger. Go argue with Max Kellerman. Y'all will leapfrog all of those names I mentioned, and there's one black kid. I don't even know this kid's name. I'm calling him a kid because I know I'm older than him. I don't even know who he is. Y'all will leapfrog, but the second he starts a YouTube channel, starts talking like that, y'all will leapfrog all the names I mentioned and go straight to him and start fussing with him because y'all are conditioned. Now, back to my topic. Who's rallying against Jesse Butler? Anyone? Where's the sisterhood? Where are y'all? Because if Jesse Butler was named Jaheim Benjamin, y'all would be on his ass. And if he went home, if he was looking at 78 years and went home with community service, and you found out his black father or his black mama, somehow, wherever he was, there was a black judge that sent him home, and you found out that between that black judge and that judge's father, they held that bench for 50 years. This would be all over our Queen Pink book lessons. Everybody be talking about this. And guess what? I'd be like, well, justifiably so. This dude did what? The 3 women? Especially if those women were not black. This would be all over the news. Right? All the people that talk up Charlie Kirk, what would y'all think he would think about this? Using his name for a reason. I think he'd be disappointed because this behavior is a living contradiction to everything that y'all said he represented, that he said he represented. Because Charlie Kirk wasn't racist, right? He was just a Christian man, right? That's what I'm saying. So where's the marching in the streets and, what do we want? Justice. Justice for those 3 women. Those 3 girls he did that to. One of them he almost killed. The world is too quiet over this. This is disgusting. But when Jonathan Majors was getting a lot of work, I was reading what sisters had to say about him. And I was reading comments saying that he has a runaway slave face. His nose is too wide. He ain't going bald, but that hairline is ridiculous. And I'm just like, wow. This brother is, I think he's over 6 feet tall. He got a 6-pack. He's definitely a high value man. He's Hollywood. And he's coming into his own. And this is a great thing. But you know what I also said? And I didn't say it. I kept it quiet, but I said it to myself and amongst my peers. I said, I bet you he don't date black women because that's how they were always talking about him. And mind you, all the women that were talking crap about him in the comment section, if he stopped and said, hey, man, can I take you out? They would stop what they were doing to go. Because that's how some of these sisters are. Right? And then he got in trouble. But it's not what you think. This man was dating a white woman. And when all the cameras from the buildings came out, cameras from in front of the club, he literally jumped out the Uber to get away from her. And you see him on various cameras running away from her. Jonathan Majors was running away from her. He was running away. And he got away. And she chased him and she wasn't catching him. He dipped on her. There was leaked audio where he was trying to tell her how to behave because he says, I'm doing good things with my career. I'm going to be around a lot of people. I don't need you around here dressed a certain way and acting a certain way. And he was like giving her the riot act. And he wasn't screaming. He was just letting her know, yo, I'm a man. And if you're going to be a part of my life, you got to behave accordingly. I'm going to be around a lot of important people. At that level, you shouldn't have to explain that to no woman that you pick, but whatever. Goes to show you who was the ghetto person in that relationship. That bitch was. So then what he did was he went to the police and said, look, my girlfriend's in the house. We had a situation. I ran from her, blah, 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 blah. She's in the crib. Could you come with me so she can't say anything happened? Whole time Jonathan Majors is doing the right thing. Goes to the house, his apartment, I think somewhere in Manhattan, I believe. And she's passed out drunk in his closet. He had a big walk-in closet. It's on body cam. They wake her up and she's like not really coherent, and he did the right thing. And what happens? He got arrested later on because during the altercation, she broke a nail or some stupid shit. Now, this is a Hollywood actor. He was all in the movies. He was on an Avengers movie. He did a pilot movie. He had a series on HBO. This kid was getting work. And in 1 second, and I'm not even going to say this was a bad decision, he ran from her. And they still charged him. He lost deals. He lost money. This piece of shit raped 3 girls, was looking at 78 years. They sent his ass home. Community service. So when you talk about arrests, if that can happen to a Hollywood actor who was on video and didn't do anything, thank God this didn't happen in the 80s. Where that would have happened. If that would have happened, all she had to do was go to the cops and say he did whatever, and they'd have went down and hunted him down. And it had been her word, her white word against his. And he could be telling the truth, and the next thing you know, he has that on him. Kobe Bryant lost his life with several people and his baby girl in a helicopter. When he passed, I was still reading these women in the comment section saying, I didn't care for him. He was a rapist. Excuse me? That got debunked in real time. No, he wasn't a rapist. He was guilty for adultery. But the chick he was goofing around with was a whore. She was a whore. That's it. But 20 years later, we still got to listen to that. Not 20 years, but you get what I'm saying. You get my point. Mr. D, salute, man. Salute to you. Yeah. But you let Paulie Malignaggi tell it, there is no systematic racism. This right here, this is what we call the good old boys connection. Just the good old boys. Never mean any harm. Yeah. This kid went home because their family's connected. This kid had a free ride through life. He probably wasn't working. He was a full-time student. He played baseball. And for him to go off on this rampage of doing this to girls and getting away with it, that's a testament to what we're talking about as people of color in this country, in this world. This kid should be in jail. He's home. And they try to suppress this story. Jonathan Majors got locked up and lost millions of dollars in deals. And he ran from this bitch. Now imagine how often this happens on a lower level where we don't see it. Early this morning, the brother Max 7 asked, well, he made a statement. He said, well, Drew, I'm sure you got family members that, they're always in the street. And I said, brother, I don't subscribe to none of that. I have family in Chicago that I didn't deal with. I didn't get to that part. And guess what? I don't know if they're there now or not. Do you know why? When we had the family reunion, when my grandpa passed, this is in the 90s. Check this out here. They knew about it. They showed up and paid their condolences, but they got the hell out of there fast. Do you know why? Because they played in the street. And the OGs out there said, look now, okay, pay your respects to your pop, but y'all can't stay. Y'all know y'all can't stay. I know. They came and shook hands. They dapped it up. I got family out there. I got cousins out there. I don't deal with them because they've been in the streets. They in the streets, and that's the life they chose. That's the life they chose. I don't check for them. I don't know if they're on social media. The phone numbers I had for my aunts out there, my cousins that were playing in the streets, she don't even deal with them. I don't know if they're alive or dead. I don't ask about them. You know why? The older I got, the more dangerous it was to have them niggas around me. Sometimes you got to let things go. So I don't subscribe to that level of dysfunction. Every nigga in prison is not Nelson Mandela. Yeah, Thrak, she sure did. The chick that blamed Kobe for rape had 5 different traces of semen in her boyfriend included. As a matter of fact, if I was the boyfriend and told on her, I wouldn't admit it that. Because Because after everything is done, I'd be like, yo, homie, that's your girl, bro. What's he gonna say? Yo, come on, it was Kobe though. I mean, come on. So some of these dudes are weird like that, but whatever. Ridiculous. Holy Mountain now, you told me systematic racism don't exist. Well, it's easy for you to say when you ain't never had to deal with it. So what do you think Charlie Kirk would say about good old Jesse Butler here? I bet you the people in Butler's house, they were pro Charlie Kirk. I bet you that. I bet you they cried when he was assassinated. I bet you. Charlie was next up, wasn't he? Charlie was next up, right? Craziest thing in the world. Talk about black on black crime. And as soon as he started to get into that, that's when the bullet flew. That was the weirdest thing. And all those crackers ran into the HBCUs. And I'm like, well, I don't know who did it. I hope it wasn't no black person that did it, because this is stupid. And this is just not something that we do normally. And they caught up to that kid, and he was the whitest thing I've ever seen. Right? And what these crackers do, they still ran the HBCUs. Unbelievable. You can't leave us alone, can you? Phenomenal Mexican in that super chat. He said Kirk's funeral was here in Arizona. They tore Ish up here. Really? Over him? In his name, they tore it up? Shit. They want to talk about what black people do, how we always tear shit up, the LA riots and things like that. Every time a hockey team or baseball team wins and they start tearing the city up, who do you see? A majority of the people, who do you see? Yeah, that. Main biker in that super chat salute, he says, IG message, a YouTube dude did it in 2016, slap on the wrist. Wow. No surprises here. No surprises here. So with that being said, let's go off onto this bitch. Lily Gaddis. First of all, she's complete and total rage bait.
What's up, folks?
She's complete and total rage bait. What this cunt did, that's really her on the right side. She dressed up in blackface and totally degraded black women. Totally degraded black women. Yep. And I saw some of it. And I went to her YouTube page and went to see what's going on. Right. And this was the video I came across. The typical Becky. And this were her thoughts on the video.
Welcome back to the show. So last night was Halloween, as many people know. And I decided to dress up like everyone else does. People are out there dressed like Satan and witches, and they're dressed like every horrible thing under the sun. But I decided to dress up as something, the most horrifying thing I could think of, which is the black woman, which is a person who is angry and fed up that their EBT card has been declined, that their race card is no longer working in this new climate, and that they're not receiving the reparations that they think they deserve.
Y'all upset yet? Thank you, Brother Reef. Now I'm listening to this, and I'm not angry at all, because this is how they feel. When I say they, look at her eyes, man. She's a demon. And no, I'm not saying all white people are like this. I'm not saying that. But look at her. She means what the fuck she says. Young Abel, salute. She means it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm asking y'all upset with this? Y'all upset yet? I'm going to ask the notorious question, where are the sisterhood? Because you know what? Kevin Samuels never said anything remotely close to this. And they danced on that brother grave, did they not? All he wanted them was to be better, embrace your black man, embrace your blackness, stop twerking, stop mooching off of dudes. Wait a minute. When Kevin Samuels was asking black women to be better, that's not the same thing as this. She's just talking down on them. That's just what Charlie Kirk would do. He would talk down on black people and do it in an articulate manner. He put his hands out. Number one, you 13. There's only 13% of y'all, but y'all are 98% more likely to commit crimes. Whatever the fuck he was saying, I'm like, no. That's not true. Finish telling the whole story with the statistic. Please talk to me about systematic racism. Please talk to me about how the projects was really created. In every city, they stuck black people in projects. The white people went to the suburbs. Geraldo Rivera, when he was a lawyer right here in New York City, he had to rally. There was a Puerto Rican group. I forgot the Puerto Rican group. But they were marching because the sanitation wasn't coming to the South Bronx to pick up the fucking garbage. Oh, Mysterio, let me explain something to you. You know why I'm not mad at this? Well, let me just play this. Because I'm trying to get y'all triggered.
Despite the fact that they did not build this country, contrary to what they say all the time, and they are certainly not improving the country. They are actually doing everything in their power to destroy the country.
She's talking about just black women now. And by the way, I have pictures with this EBT and this SNAP thing. I have pictures from various parts of this wonderful nation. There's a lot of white people on those lines too with missing teeth. Can I ask y'all a question? How can there only be 13% of people, black people in this country, but people are only paying attention to us when we ask for SNAP? As if there aren't white people on SNAP. Let me give you a little gem here. You ready for this? You ain't gonna like this. You ain't gonna like this, but it's the truth. Did you know the Jewish community's marriage is not recognized by the state of New York? Okay? Did you know that? Did you know the wives collect welfare while the husbands work in the Diamond District? Because legally, the husband does not live in the household legally. They're not legally married. Did you know that? Uh-oh. Now, the yarmulke crew works in the Diamond District. I've seen them. Seen them there for years. What I didn't know was that their wives that they've procreated with, their marriage is not recognized. And then I was told that they collect food stamps. And I said, how? These cats is millionaires. Well, the system is what it is. You think this Snow Bunny even pays attention to that? You think she knows that? Okay. Well, let me trigger you some more.
Made this stream last night, live stream, and a few people watched it, and now people are quite angry. Several allegations are being alleged against me. Why is she doing this? Is she just a shock jock, just an agent provocateur? Or is she a grifter? Or is she Jewish? Or is this a federal asset here to seed division amongst people? So I want to put some of those accusations to bed. I want to explain the method behind the madness and perhaps what my long-term goals are. Because unlike an agent provocateur who just wants to cause chaos, I actually want to see my country improved.
She wants to see her country improved. She just degraded black women. So what do you think her improving the country is going to consist of? Getting rid of the problem. Who's the problem in her eyes? Black women. Now, sisters, the manosphere, I don't claim to be a part of the manosphere, but I'm saying I watched their work. The red pill, the manosphere, they tried to get you right. Now here Becky is saying this shit. Where y'all at? You know what? I don't even want y'all arguing with her. You know why? Because all of that neck rolling and head popping that y'all do, she'll eat y'all alive in a debate. All you're going to be doing is left there cussing and screaming at her. Her views are going to go through the roof. And you're not going to make no point when you're frustrated and angry and you can't make the point because you're not living the proper life. I don't want y'all to debate this woman. Y'all not ready. Case in point. That wasn't a debate this morning with the Tank fans. The two that I had on the panel, that was not a debate. That was me putting them on the panel and saying, look at this shit. That's what that was. I said, hey, man, look, watch. I wasn't debating them. I'm not trying to change no one's mind. We know what we know. Kevin Samuels has nothing to do with this. Can you imagine her opening up her panel and Bone Quee should get up there with her bonnet on her head, with her earring in her nose, the camera all up on her three chins? No, let me tell you something, you white bitch. Completely proving her point. That'll be ridiculous. She ain't gonna get no black lawyer, no female black lawyer to get up there and put her in her place. That's not gonna happen. You know why? Because they ignore this bitch. But you queens, y'all don't want to pick y'all battles at all. But if I got on my panel and said exactly what she said, first of all, y'all would flag the fuck out of my channel. Second of all, I think YouTube will remove the shit. Now, this bitch says she wants to fix her country. She's talking about black women now, right? Okay.
Okay, and you might say, well, how is doing blackface on a stream, how is that improving the country?
She put blackface on yesterday or the day before yesterday, whatever, in a bonnet, and talked about how vile you black women are.
Well, let me explain to you how. The country has been slowly dissolving into destruction. It's slowly been destroyed over time. We're frogs in boiling water. That's what's been going on in this country. We've slowly had our rights stripped away. We've slowly lost sovereignty of our country, and now...
Who? We? So who does she mean we? Now, everything she's saying, understand. Her target was black women. And listen to what she's saying.
Shadowy forces that are now becoming more identifiable and clear to the general populace have destroyed our country. They've shipped in immigrants. They've shipped in all sorts of cultures that clash with our cultures and our religions. And we've lost our national identity, and we've lost our racial identity as well. They've been pushing miscegenation on us. They've been pushing this idea that we've
lost our racial identity. Let me stop right there. What the fuck is racial identity? Please explain. What do you think she's talking about? I mean, these niggas done lost their mind, and niggas mean a low life, by the way, a lazy low life. All the great content removed out the algorithm, and this video still exists. Flag it if you want. Did YouTube, when she did this in blackface, when she did her video the day before she did this one in blackface, so YouTube hit her with a flag and say you're in violation of community standards? Did they do that? And I bet you if I flag it and go to YouTube and say, hey man, look, this ain't right, they ain't gonna do anything. They tell me all the time, I'm like, okay, you did this to me, but I'll give you 5 different links where this was done in worse. You know what they've always said to me? Well, if you see something in violation, you flag it. No, you know why? Because if you review it and say, well, this is not in complete violation, you know what happens? If you start flagging shit and they keep saying, hey, it's not in violation, they give you a strike for false flagging. Did you know that? So I don't know how that video's up with her in the bonnet with blackface, but it's up. Please go follow me on Rumble. This is what I'm talking about. But I'll go ahead.
Should be guilty for the reason, and it's white people that are to blame for the, the downfall and destruction of non-white people. Of course, there's no accountability in that camp. It's just
this sloppy smut is too young and too ignorant to learn about what happened and how we were treated, the communities we were put into. You think this bitch knows anything about Rosewood and every other Black Wall Street that was destroyed by airstrike? The last one that was actually destroyed was right there in Philadelphia by airstrike. They dropped a bomb on a whole neighborhood in the 70s. No, was it the 80s? I forget. So the way she's explaining it, you would think that Black people are the scum of the mother effing earth. Would Charlie Kirk be proud? Is this what he meant? Because what I'm getting at is this his legacy? Because these crackers been out their mind. I've been minding my own business on certain things on Instagram, and they come for me, but I send them packing though. 85, thank you, Shelton. I sent them packing. So if you got judges that can look at a case where a kid has raped 3, no, he's not a kid, he's a grown-ass man. He's a grown adolescent, though. 3 girls got raped. And he was looking at 78 years, and it gets reduced to community service. And then you got Becky over here talking about we're just pointing the finger, and we've gotten away from what this country really is. And then you get this orange dude talking about make America great again. Where do you think she wants this country to go back to? You see what I mean? You see? See? See that? But I'll continue to play. She's telling you who she is. And she's unapologetic. YouTube will not take this fucking video down.
our fault as well. So I've been looking back and I've been seeing my country get progressively worse, and I've noticed it seems to have been a national uptick in the destruction and chaos in the last 5 years. I've seen my country become destroyed at an accelerated pace.
I can do this same video with the same background and be just as articulate and talk about white people in the same manner, and I bet you they'll close my channel. I bet you. Let 5 white people flag it and say, hey man, this ain't right. And I could do the day before, I could do a whole, I can get a blonde wig and paint my face white and go in white face, and I'll start talking like this. And then the next day I'll stand on it, my channel will be gone. It will be gone. But I want the sisterhood to pay attention though. I want the sisterhood to pay attention to what she's saying, because I got a pipe bomb in a second.
I think we can all tell. I think it was kicked off with COVID when we were collectively stripped of our rights. And it's just continued to escalate ever since. So what I want is I want my country to be great again. Okay? That's
Didn't I just say, see? Great again. When were we great, man?
why Trump won in 2016, and that's why he's our president now, because he ran on this slogan of making America great again. I think.
Yeah, a slogan is all it is. One of the things that that helped him get into the White House was linking Epstein to Hillary Clinton. Epstein gets locked up. He committed suicide. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We're like, all right, well, he's dead, but where are the Epstein files? Now, Trump don't want to talk about it anymore. That's your president.
I think he has failed in a lot of ways, because when a politician gets up into a position of political power, they quickly are presented with the real people who run our country, and they quickly learn that there is no sovereignty and there's no power in the political offices that they hold.
So who the fuck do you think runs the country, bitch? When it was great? When was the country great? Tell me.
Despite being elected there.
You know, I've yet to see a Trump supporter tell me when the fuck the country was great. Because matter of fact, these be 21-year-olds saying that shit. 30-year-olds saying that shit. Okay, yeah. You remember when this country was great? Tell me when it was great. Tell me. Tell me when it was great. When you made the most money. Oh, you can't say that. When your parents made the most money. And you had the best vacations. The best summer vacations. There's not a care in the world until the big old bad Obama got in the office. And that's when the country went down, right? Tell me when it was great. Bush 1, Bush 2, Clinton. You kids weren't even born then. Bush 1, we went to war. Clinton, we did not. Bush 2, we went to war. Obama, we did not. Trump, we had war with ourselves. And we was about to be at war with everybody else. Tariffs and everything. A war don't necessarily mean that a bomb got to drop. Look at what we're going through. Raising the tariffs, that backfired, didn't it? This bitch she don't even look like she in her 40s. When the fuck was the country great for her? I challenge y'all. Ask them. Next time somebody young with no gray on their face, say, hey, man, make America great again. When was it great? Stop them and say, when was it great for you? Please enlighten me. When was it great for you? Tell me, when was it great for you? Tell me when. Okay, it was when a Republican was in office. Last 20 years, what did we have? Bush number 1, Clinton, Democrat. Bush number 2, Republican. Obama, Democrat. Trump, Republican. Biden, Democrat. Trump, Republican. When was we great? I went back to the 90s just now. So the next time one of these youngsters say that, ask them, excuse me, when was it great? Thank you. Every time there was a Republican in office, I swear to God, there was bombs flying over our head. We was worried about terrorism. What you talking about? Correct me if I'm wrong. When we was in the most debt, financial trouble, where it was out of control, it's out of control now. Wasn't it a Republican in office? Well, you know, you can fact check me on that. I'm asking a question because I don't know much. That's Trill Will's forte. I'm just asking.
On certain promises that they gave the voter, and the voter elects them into those positions. I want that to change. I want our sovereignty back. I want our racial identity back. And I want
sovereignty and racial identity. Holy cow. Sovereignty and racial identity. She wants that back. Ain't no one stopping you from being white, bitch. Y'all still in power. This rapist just went home. He was looking at 78 years. Went home with counseling and house arrest. What are you talking about? Racial identity? What is that? This is America. Don't we thrive on being a melting pot? Send us your poor, Ellis Island, all that shit. We're Italian, Black, Asian, Middle Eastern, Latino. We're all of that, right? So when you say racial identity, what the fuck do you know what the racial identity of this country really is? Native American. This is red ground. And what did your ancestors do? The worst of the Europeans was sent over here. Did y'all know that? It wasn't the best people. It wasn't the king and the queen and they came over here and no. They said, man, see these broke motherfuckers? Send them niggas into the ocean and go tell them to go find some shit. They sent their worst. And the other worst were the prisoners. They said, put them on a boat and send them away. And they landed on a little place called Australia. Hi, we've never seen dark people with blonde hair. What is this? I hereby call this Australia. What is that? That's a kangaroo. Time a kangaroo down, sport. Next thing you know, they don't run shit over there too. See, what's real is you crackers are a plague. You're a plague. Everywhere you go, you rot it from inside out. Whatever continent the natives of the land were on, they were doing fine until y'all showed y'all asses up. With your trickery. The best trick that the devil ever proved was convincing you motherfuckers that they didn't exist. Now, of course, I gotta be politically correct and say not all white people are like this. Delano, salute. Not all white people. But you know, they know. I have white friends, they know what it is. Sad part is in every culture, you got a group that thinks the closer they get to white people, they'll be out of the line of fire. And I'm here to tell you, no matter how much buck dancing you doing as a black person, or there's a word for coon in every ethnicity, every culture, they will never accept you. Ever. Ever. I'm going to do my Floyd Mayweather Jr. video on Patreon. I'm not even going to put it up on Rumble. Not even going to do that. Because they're not ready for what the hell I have to say. They're going to have to pay to hear it. They gave that man a diamond-studded yarmulke and started calling him Rabbi Mayweather. Rabbi May. I'm not kidding. I have the video. I'm going to play it. It's going to be on Patreon. You're going to see it. And I got a ton of things wrong. I got a ton of things that I see wrong with this. And not even Floyd knows. If some shit hit the fan and there's some sort of, you know about the Jewish man in Brooklyn that got arrested for real estate fraud? He had a fake real estate company and G'd a whole block of black people out of their homes and tried to get them evicted. And he got arrested for that. Floyd, that's who you connecting yourself with. Now, when black people do crimes, they drag their ass all over the fucking news and everything else. What that dude didn't even make the fucking news. I saw it online. Floyd, those are the people you buddying up with, man. And you was just in New York looking at real estate. I saw that. I said, what the fuck you doing here? Oh, you buying brownstones. Okay, let me ask you a question. You buying those brownstones and making it affordable housing for your people? Oh, I'm sorry. Your people ain't your people. Because when we're protesting in the name of a company that did us dirty as a community, you doubled down on, and not only that, you spent $8,000. What was that, Gucci or whoever the fuck we was protesting. You got on your social media and said, I'm not like that. I'm going to go support them. We're dealing with some shit in our community. You said all lives matter. I heard you, man. And there's no coming back from that. So when I see these dumbass athletes do that, when I told y'all, Tank said he don't fuck with us, he not marching with us, nothing. He denounced us. I'm saying, cool, kid, stay your ass over there. Stay over there. Mr. D, I swear to God, bro. It's a diamond-studded yarmulke, and it says TMT on the front. I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious, bro. I'm dead serious. I said, is that a diamond-studded yarmulke? That's blasphemous, bro. So what, Floyd is Jewish now? There's a video of him at that wall overseas, and he's praising the wall, and he's pro-Israel. Look, man. This is why you don't idolize niggas like that. You don't idolize them like that. You don't idolize them like that. You don't idolize them. You let them go. All of that. No, I'm not gonna lose no faith in my brother. That's not your brother. He don't like you. He don't like himself. That's funny as hell, Audacity. Matter of fact, let me screenshot that. Screenshot that. That's funny as hell. You know I'm gonna make a cartoon of that. I'll make a cartoon. Thank you, Audacity Podcast. Salute. This is why I got trust issues. This is why I got trust issues. This is why I'm quick to let these knuckle draggers go. Do y'all understand? And I'm being serious, y'all. Do y'all understand the monkey videos now? Do you understand why I have no patience? When I see a black man off code or a black chick off code, I'm quick to say, nope, I ain't got time to raise you. I'll point out the violation. If you're still fussing with me and you don't really see what I'm dealing with here, I can't deal with you. Respectfully, step out my way, because we got things we're doing here. This is why I don't got time to, yeah, he kissed the wall, D. He did. There's pictures of it. Yes, he did. He did. What he did was he secured his bag. I'm just letting you know, because Floyd been a hoe. He secured his bag. So if that's what he want to do, that's what he do. But don't look for him to do anything for his people. But he sat up there right on the fucking stage and said, if you got a problem with my Jewish friend, you got a problem with me. I don't know what the fuck that means. And this is why I have no patience for my own. When I'm explaining myself very, very clearly, this is why I feel how I feel. Because of this, and this. I got a problem with this. I got a problem with this, and I got a problem with this. And I'm met with all kinds of resistance. Cool. Your parents failed you, and you have no knowledge of self. And I'll be remiss if I'm arguing with a dude or a woman that got kids out of wedlock from multiple baby daddies or got multiple baby mamas. When you just let a person talk, they tell you who they are. And then especially when they're defending, no, bro. No. There's no coming back. These niggas meant what they say. Floyd is all the way on the left. There's no coming back. He's been gone a long time. A long time. Forget selling his booty. He sold a lot. A lot. And while he's over there handling his business, you got bitches like this doing this. What the fuck does she mean getting back to this country, getting back to what it was? What do you mean? Go back to where? What, you were like 35 years old? You might be younger than that. Go back to where? What do you remember when you was a kid? What do you mean? The Native Americans, this was their land. You brought your white asses over here. Almost died in the goddamn winter. They showed you how to hunt the buffalo, kill the whole buffalo, use the bones for weapons, eat the meat, and take the fur so you don't freeze in the winter. Here, take this, and you grow this here, whatever, and you crack and say, yeah, okay. Now get on that reservation and don't fucking move. Huh? Why? Yeah, we got something called gunpowder. We will blow your shit out. And that's America. So what the fuck is she talking about? Let's listen.
My homogenous society back. I want a country to live in that's going to be a good, thriving place for my children to grow up in. I want a place where...
Now, I'm not saying this country's perfect. But are you blaming crime on immigrants and black people?
Families can feel safe to raise children. I want a place where everyone, despite how poor you are, despite how rich you are, can live in peace and can live in nice, prosperous communities. I want to live in a country that's respected again, and I want to live in a country that is ours again. And that's what I mean.
That is ours. Who? You? Because not every person of color behaves in an ignorant fashion.
When I say I want America to be great again. And
great again. When the fuck were we great? Were you even alive when it was great? And what is great, by the way?
The way we achieve that is that we start actually putting America and Americans first.
Black women here, whether you like it or not, they're American.
First of all, we have to start by identifying who the American people are.
Here we go.
This country was founded on white Christian people.
See, there you go. There you go. She said it. She said it. And here's the pipe bomb. Thank you, Mr. Shelton. I was trying to get to it, but I can't hold it no more. Do you know when she says making America great, she's getting pounded out by some big dick black man? She has a mixed kid. D4, what up? She has a mixed kid. What the fuck is she talking about? This conversation is over. You listen, what do we know about them? They hate us, but love what we're sexual objects to them. That's why those crackers was, yo, listen, all of this, women going down to Jamaica, y'all just found out about that. White Canadian women, white European women, white American women been going to Jamaica and Africa for years, getting plowed by them. Years. We're nothing but tools to them. They look at us and look at our pants. They're like, oh man, I gotta have that 9-iron. Those crackers, they went down to Africa. They say, yo, why are these women's butts so big? I gotta have that. And the first light-skinned Negro was born. Y'all saw Django? When he went to the plantation, Don Johnson's character was running around there on that horse. You saw those light-skinned black kids there? What do you think that was? In the theater, I said, damn, they ain't pulling no punches, are they? That was him sleeping with the help and spitting out the babies. All of those the light-skinned black kids with the red hair, those are his babies. Who liked chocolate that was in the White House? Was that Thomas Jefferson? I understand. Was it Thomas Jefferson who was fucking his maids? I understand that there's niggas walking around right now that are direct descendants of him. Direct descendants of him. Y'all saw Bill Clinton's black son? Don't tell me nothing. There's no black kid in the world that can. Bill Clinton is a funny looking dude. He has very unique looks. I totally believe that black dude is his son. I totally believe it. I don't think it was ever proven. Never did a DNA test. They never responded to it. But goddamn it, you saw that dude? I said, oh my God, wait a minute. Man, Hillary just sick of his ass. But she dealt with it. She stayed in that marriage. If y'all ever get a chance to Google it, put in Bill Clinton's black son and be amazed. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be like, wait, what? This is real? Bill Clinton got very distinct features. There's no way a black kid could look exactly like him. It's bugged out. It's like Andre Ward. Y'all ever saw a picture of Andre Ward's father? You're going to be like, oh, shit. It's his dad, but with an afro. That's who Andre Ward is. He looks like his dad, but he has nappy hair. But that's clearly his dad. It's the same shit. Same shit. So this chick is talking all this shit. She procreated with a black man. So when she says make the country great again, what is she talking about? Oh, I got a good black man. But you black nappy-headed nigga bitches need to get out of here. Right? That's what she's saying. I would love to debate this chick. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I'd put on the camouflage do-rag just for her. And then I'd take it off and back the camera up. She'd see me sitting there with a suit on. Gotcha, bitch. But then again, this chick is a grifter, and her YouTube channel is over 167,000 subs. And there's a lot of people in this comment section that follow her, say, yo, yeah, don't apologize, don't apologize. These are things that she's doing. Now, who I'd really want to talk to is a dude that didn't pull out fast enough. And I would ask him, your thoughts on this live, your thoughts on the blackface. And he might be a coon. He might be a coon, but I like putting coons on Front Street.
And on white Christian values.
White Christian values. She didn't say Christian values. She said white Christian values. And see, it's shit like that that chases black people away from Christianity. I would encourage you not to listen to her. She said white Christian values. In that same Bible, when they describe Jesus, how is he described? Eyes of brimstone, brown skin, eyes of brimstone, brown skin with woolly hair. If anything, Jesus Christ looked more like Osama bin Laden, you stupid cunt. That's the mind fuck. White Christian values. She didn't say Christian values. She said white Christian values.
And that is who I care about. And
that's who you care about. Man, you got plowed by Lex Steele, bitch. You ain't fooling me.
that is what our politicians should care about. They should care about those people. They should pander
Care about those people. Pander
to those people. And they should serve those people. They should not be serving the interest of foreign countries and of foreign people. And they should not be encouraging the mass migration of foreign people into our lands, which will cause the inevitable destruction and strife and chaos as we're seeing in the UK, as we're seeing in Canada, and as we're seeing now in the United States.
Because the foreigners are beating the shit out the country. No mention of motherfuckers like Timothy McVeigh. No mention of cops shooting us unnecessarily and choking us out. No mention of that. Because that's not on the grand scale. Now, why did I bring up those things? Why? This kid, Jesse Butler, I'm telling you, he's not an anomaly. Shit like this just don't happen. This happens in abundance, which is why you got a lineage of family on a bench for over 50 years. For 50 years, that's what we were told. See, this is the America she wants. Black Wall Street, what's that? Fuck that. Bankrupt them. Don't give him any loans. Oh shit, they building crops. Man, send some boll weevils over there. Send those lantern flies over there to fuck up their trees. Do something. They're thriving over there. That's the America that she heard about, and that's what she wants. You know what? I'm gonna stop this bitch right here. Let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. I don't care to argue with any black person for anything. But when I open up my panel and I have people that are off code and just flat out silly, I detest you and I'd rather you get the fuck from around me. I have no patience for that. I have no patience for that. I'm not trying to turn people or have them turn over a new leaf and see shit my way. I already know you're not seeing my way. When I put you on my panel and I let you talk, this is just what I'm doing. I'm letting you talk. And by the way, that's her in blackface right there. That's her right there in blackface. That's her. Talking about how disgusting you black sisters are. Word to you black sisters. I don't want to hear from y'all bitches ever again. We've been saying for a long time to fix yourself. Y'all are bosses and you don't need no man. And everything I seen on TikTok was y'all screaming about SNAP benefits. It was a lot of white women too. But it was a lot of women nonetheless who don't need no man. And a guy making $50,000 a year is not good enough for them. But that guy's going to have a good old Christmas. You're not. And I'm not saying that to throw it in your goddamn face. I'm saying that because it's a harsh reality. But never mind me. What you got to say about this bitch, Lily, that said that about you? Oh, Najee, of course, man. This is what I'm saying. I don't take her too serious. And Nick Fuentes, look, after what happened to Charlie Kirk, they're like, fuck all of that, debating people in public. I don't want my shit popped out too. And I'm not justifying that. You don't need to do that. I needed Charlie Kirk to keep talking because eventually I'd have got to him. Eventually he'd have ended up somewhere close to New York and I'd have had the day off from work and I'd have pulled up on him with real facts, data, and statistics. You can get that off on college campuses where the kids are just riled up and they don't really know how to debate you correctly because they don't have the numbers to go back and forth with you with, and a lot of them don't understand the history to challenge you. He went to colleges, and what he was low-key trying to do is get his point across and convert these kids and have them second thinking themselves. Bullshit. He ain't gonna sit on a couch with Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or Tariq Nasheed, people that know, and I'm not bigging them up saying that they're the end all and they're the leaders of the community, but they do know history. They do know the numbers. He ain't gonna pull up on no Jason Black show. He not gonna do that. He gonna pull up on college campuses just to say, hey, I'm outside, and he stayed on his Rumble podcast, which is still on Rumble, by the way. I think all of his shit is still up. And he's birthing these cats that think they could do what he did. He's birthing this bitch, Lily. He shined a light on this kid, Jesse Butler, this animal, this fucking pig, this rapist. So he went home, and this bitch degraded black women, right? But they still want to talk to us about us being 13% of the population, but we lead the charge in crime? Hell no, we don't. Tell the whole story. And I ain't gonna put it out here for you. Y'all do your own research. But what these motherfuckers do, this in abundance. These are just two clowns out loud, but there's millions. Look at the comment section on her videos. The amount of people that agree with her. The amount of 15,000 views, 8,000 views, 20,000 views. These are people on YouTube, man. but we can't get simple boxing videos big enough fighters that we support pushed into a fucking algorithm. When I get on here and say, hey man, they're removing our shit out of rotation. Blue Blood 78 should have been over 100 stacks in YouTube subscribers. When I say things like that, I'll get niggas come up here. Oh, you crying? No, nigga, you just don't understand what's at stake here. How many videos did anyone else do on these two clowns right here? I've seen a couple. I know Trill Will spoke on it, but I want to shine a light on this because this is the bullshit that we deal with. It's not just two people. It's not just one cracker getting away with rape. It's not just one black-loving, insecure cracker bitch getting away with this. They're having a litness of people that support them. And that's what we deal with. And they're all part of the system. You can't tell what walk of life that people are in the goddamn in the chat. Do you know there's a brain surgeon that is in our chats every day? I ain't gonna say who he is. A brain surgeon. Yes, real shit. He is a brain surgeon, and he frequents our boxing channels. You don't know who's in those channels. It could be judges. It could be police officers. It could be mayors. And they come to work and smile in your face every goddamn day. Najee, that's Jesse Butler. He raped 3 girls. He was looking at 78 years in prison. And he got a slap on the wrist in the form of counseling and house arrest. And you found out the judge that banged the gavel and made that decision, her family line was on that bench for 50 years. This is all in-house. But this is what we deal with. And it's judges like that that was sending black men to jail for having a certain amount of weight of cocaine on them. But the white men were going home and they had a whole brick in their goddamn pack in their pants. We were getting put in jail by the ounce. And then when they turned it to crack, oh my God. They were doing all kinds of math just to lock us up. Y'all remember the 3-strike rule? All of that. I told you I got family in Chicago, right? I'll never forget the phone call my mama got. 1988. My cousin came home with a firearm. She said, where the fuck did you get this? Outside. Where? There was a crate in the alley. I thought it was a toy. Huh? It had no bullets in it. Guess what? 3 blocks and around the corner, in another alley, whole crate opened up with bullets in it. These weren't police officer firearms. These were military issued firearms. And let me ask you a question. How the fuck did that get there? No black person put that there. There's video of white people handing out bricks when they thought a riot was going to break out over the last shooting. This white couple came up and handed these black kids bricks, and this black couple chased the car down and said, what the fuck? First of all, they went up to the black kids and say, put that shit down. Then they called up to the white couple in the car and say, why are you handing out bricks to these black kids? What the fuck you doing? And then you notice there were bricks systematically placed on every street corner, but there was no construction around. Why were those bricks there? But there's no systematic racism though, right? Come on, get the fuck out of here, wake up. Boxing Fan ×4 in that super chat, much love. He says, we need to normalize, instead of telling them to watch your back, we need to tell them to watch your neck. Well, I'm gonna do another video about group economics, because that's the only way to rise above all of this shit. Now, I know I did it before, but I'm gonna do it again. And the problem in our community is that we have no trust. But the Jewish community has group economics figured out to a T. They've been doing it for years. And that's why they don't have the same problems that we have. But I'm gonna say it because it needs to be said. We are the answer to our own issues. We really are. And believe it or not, it's not hard, but we have a trust issue. And that's been embedded in us since slavery. They've legitimately turned the women against us since 1965. They said, do you want Uncle Sam? You'll get light, gas, and free food. Or do you want Harvey, who doesn't have a steady job and whatever? No. They said, I'll take Uncle Sam, and kicked Harvey out the house. I got videos on that. I need to do a whole thing about group economics, and I'm gonna open up that panel. That's gonna be a long live. But that's the only way out of this thing. Because if you got a steady income stream, and the steady income stream doesn't necessarily have to be from your 9 to 5. It could be from your community. When all else fails, you ain't got to worry about no food pantry. You ain't got to worry about robbing Walmart. You ain't got to worry about any of that, because the community has you. I had an aunt that lived in the South Bronx, and she wasn't broke, but she was in a pretty good financial situation. And all her and her girlfriends that were stay-at-home mothers, stay-at-home wives, they never starved. They weren't the richest, but they never starved. You know why? They did things with their money and they shared. The kids, we didn't even know. Well, I didn't live there. But, a lot of the kids, they didn't even know that they were poor. They didn't even know that. Because they had everything they needed. They had great Christmases. They got all the toys they wanted. Because the women understood how to move the money around within the community. And they operated off of the highest level of integrity and a whole bunch of love. And I loved going to that side of the Bronx. Now, when you say the old South Bronx in the 70s and 80s, oh my God, oh. Nope, wasn't even like that. Loved going over there. I've been to all my cousin's apartment, and then all his friends, and everybody was happy. Yeah, it wasn't the best of neighborhoods, but nobody starved. If you were starving, you know what you was? You was the wino down the block. We are the answer. The government's not coming to save you, ladies. Your man could have helped you, but now it's time for you to trust your goddamn community, because this shit is not going to stop. As a matter of fact, it's gotten progressively worse. It's time for us to unite, put the virtual guns down, and relax. Get this shit done. But I'm preaching to the choir because no one wants to listen to my dumb ass. Boxing Fan Times 4, he says it was a pale faces in ski masks that started the fires during the ICE protest. Yeah, of course it was. One of those dudes got their mask snatched off. Yeah, of course it was, man. It's never us that throws any bricks. They go down there with masks, they set shit off, and the riot ensues, and we get blamed for it because it's in our neighborhoods. Dragon Fang salute. But I'm gonna bring this to a close. I got a doctor's appointment in the morning. I don't know if I'm gonna be live tomorrow, but I'll be live sometime tomorrow, probably, more than likely, probably. Who the fuck knows? But whatever. Man, salute to y'all. Like this video, share this video. We are our own algorithm. Salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda Cash App, Super Chat. Lily Gaddis. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna pray for you. That black seed, I will pray for, but you could burn in hell for all I care. And Jessie Butler, you can go right along with her. All right, and that judge, rent due, bitch. God don't like ugly. That same Christian faith that this bitch talks about, white Christian values. When you go to that bitch's court, do you not grab your hand and they put your hand on the Bible and they tell you, do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you what? Their white God with the Christian values? Is that what she's talking about? Right. I better wake up. Go subscribe to my Patreon, man. I'm out.
The Painful Excellence Podcast.